Alright guys, so in this video we're going to be going over why you should do calisthenics or why you should do weights, what are the benefits of each, which one is better than the other, and overall just a comparison on weights and calisthenics because they each have their own benefits and they each have their own negatives, and one's better in one area than the other and the other one's worse than the other one in the other area. So in this video we're going to go over that. Let's get to the video. Alright guys, so I had to redo this video because I had interruptions. So let's hope this isn't interrupted so I can get my message across. In this video, like I said, we're going over calisthenics and weightlifting. Calisthenics, let's start with that. You can do calisthenics from anywhere, wherever you are. I can do calisthenics at a hotel, I can do calisthenics here, I could do calisthenics on an airplane, I could do calisthenics on a spaceship, I could do calisthenics everywhere. Plain and simple. Weights, you need weights. You can't do that everywhere. Calisthenics. Calisthenics, you can progressive overload. I can get stronger in the calisthenic movements. I can very focus. If I want to do push-ups, let's say I want to increase my chest and my shoulders, I do push-ups, and I can do it from an elevated surface. So I'm pushing off of a table instead of pushing off of the floor. This is easier. Or I could do the reverse, where if I'm super advanced, I put my feet on the table instead of putting my upper body on the table. And I make it harder than average than a regular push-up because I'm putting more of my body weight onto the ground that I'm lifting up more of my body weight. So this makes it easy to overload. Calisthenics typically is kind of hard to grow your legs in, although I really feel like it's kind of misleading because a lot of people there are like, oh, I can't train my legs because this calisthenics. Really, you just need to do a lot of explosive movements, and if you really push your muscle fibers, it might be a little harder because you don't have weights if you're doing calisthenics or pure calisthenics. So what I call it, you do hybrid calisthenics, which is you put weights on your back or something, or technically then you're doing, but you could do a lot of different things. But squats without weights are kind of hard to get big muscles in your legs on. But my legs are plenty muscular, and I get that from doing explosive jumping. I do a lot of jumping. I jump around like crazy. That really helps with my calisthenics training, and you could do that too. You could organize yourself so you do training specific, like plyometrics. Plyometric is when trained for quick bursts of energy. We use a lot of ATP and a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers, which if you see my video comparing, I'm pretty sure I have an old video comparing fast twitch muscle fibers to slow twitch muscle fibers and the difference between the two of them. You'll learn more about that. And if I didn't upload it, I'm pretty sure I have before in the past. If not, I've talked about it before, so you guys look through my videos to find it. But it helps with that, and you get more explosive leg movements. Generally, to calisthenics athletes, because they are people, not athletes, people who train calisthenics. Because I wouldn't say everybody who trains calisthenics who does push-ups specifically an athlete because they're not getting paid for it. But if you do calisthenics, you're generally more flexible because a lot of the moves that you have to do, you have to have flexibility for. And if I'm not flexible while I'm trying to do it, I could hurt my legs, I could hurt my arms, my wrists could be like, my ligaments could get all twisted up. It hurts. You would know if you tried to do any sort of handstand movement and you didn't warm up your wrists, or you didn't have any training before, or you just go day one, I'm gonna try to do a handstand. Even if you're strong with the weights, even if your muscles are strong enough, your tendons aren't flexible enough, and you'll feel a crazy amount of pain. And it's the same thing if you get someone who's been training their whole lives and they do weights only, then you get them, you're like, do a split, and they can't do a split, and it hurts like crazy for them to get half the range of motion that you do, and you've been training your splits forever, hopefully, because you're watching this video and you do stretching on top of your training because you know that that's good. Stretching, training, cardio, that's your training routine, and then you have diet. Everyone who watches my videos should know that, hopefully. But yeah, and it's generally more well-rounded. Like I said, still, training your legs is really the only major downfall of calisthenics, because a lot of people, unless they're very educated like you guys are watching this video, they don't really know what to do to train their legs. And even if they are educated like you guys, it's kind of hard to build slow twitch muscle fibers, and those are the easiest to build, and those are the most visible to build. So it's kind of hard to see really big legs in people who train calisthenics. But I mean, if anything, it makes it easier, because if you don't have any weight in your legs, you can do handstand push-ups, you can do Planche push-ups, if your legs don't weigh that much, it's way easier because you just all your weight in your upper body. Like if you see these videos of these people who, like I've seen videos of these guys in wheelchairs and they can do all sorts of calisthenic moves because they don't have legs. Of course, it's easier for them to do handstands and stuff, and they don't have legs. They walk on their hands, and I've seen people walk on their hands that they don't have legs. Their hands are like the guy who has the Guinness World Record for the fastest sprint with your hands only or whatever. He has no feet. Of course, he's gonna have the world record. He has 50 pounds less than anyone who ever tries to compete against because there's no legs. If you have no legs, you have small legs. It's easier to do calisthenic moves. Although there's plenty of calisthenic moves that you need legs for, like pistol squat. You'd be surprised how many people cannot do a pistol squat. It's very difficult. A lot of people train a long time and they can't do a pistol squat because you don't only need strength, you need flexibility and balance as well to do pistol squats. And it does train your legs pretty hard too. And yeah, it's pretty hard. So weights, benefits of weights, negatives of weights. I already gave you the negatives of calisthenics, which is mainly you can't train your legs that well. Weights, weight training is very highly specialized. So if I want to train my bicep, what am I going to do? A bicep curl. If I train my bicep in calisthenics, I do chin-ups, but I also train my back. And if I only want to train my bicep and not fatigue myself, because if you train all the other muscles, you feel fatigued. Even if you're not training that muscle specifically, you'll just start to feel tired in your body. You'll use up all of its chemical energy for that day, and you won't be able to train other muscle groups. So if I only want to train one thing, it's better for me to only train that one thing and not train something else I don't want right now. That's the benefit of weights. You get to be specified. I only want biceps. I only train biceps. I know a lot of women out there who don't like training back. You want to get your biceps? Get your biceps. Go get big biceps. Go get big backs too. Girls can get big backs too. I think it's great. Everyone should get big backs, big biceps. Buys for the guys, and yeah, that works too. Buys for the girls, girls get guys, girls, guys, everyone get big buys. So you get specificity, you get typically increased hypertrophy, which means your muscles grow bigger because you're building type. It's easier to build type 2 muscle fibers because you can do the movement. Most people do the movement slower, and it's easier to control weights than controlling your body because your body is not a really stable weight. You have to have really good balance. So instead of having to focus on balance, it really makes it easier. If you just want to look jacked, you have to work a lot less working out. Not to say that it's easy, although really it is way easier than doing calisthenics. It's easy. It's easier than doing calisthenics, guys. So if you guys want to just look good, just go do some weights. It's really not super hard. You just go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. You might feel a little sore that day, but that's pretty much it. Get to train big legs, get big back, biceps. Although really you don't need a lot of flexibility when you're training with weights for the most part. So really a lot of people who train with weights, they don't have super flexible bodies. They can't do a lot of sort of it's not good. They need flexibility. Flexibility is important. If you're flexible, it opens up so many doors for you. And if you're an athlete, you want to be flexible. But like I said, weights can also help you with type 1 muscle fibers too, because it's easier to specify. Remember, the laws of specificity. If I train one thing, I'll be better at that one thing. So I train specifically chest through weight training or bicep through weight training. It's better than calisthenics because calisthenics forces me to train all these other muscles. But with weight training, I can train that one muscle, so I'll get better than it in that one muscle than any calisthenics guy can because of the law of specificity. So really, weight training has a lot of useful utility. I recommend weight training to a lot of people. I think it's very good. And it's super easy to overload. Way easier to overload than calisthenics. Because calisthenics, although there are movements to progressively overload, like I can overload my get doing a bunch of handstand push-ups and handstand what's called planche push-ups. But eventually, if I get really good through many years of training, and I'm doing 20 planche push-ups, and I'm no longer really in that good rep range to get good hypertrophy, it's kind of hard for me to really challenge myself. Then I need weights. Weights is super easy to train to get hypertrophic effects because you just increase the weight. there's always going to be eventually the weight where you just can't lift it. Always. Even the Hulk, whoever you are, like, you could be the #1 world powerlifter ever, and eventually you'll reach your max. There's a limit for everyone. Everyone has their limit. Find your limit, train with that limit, and you'll get the best results. Remember, 12 to 15 reps for hypertrophy, which means aesthetics. So if you want to get aesthetic looking physique, 12 to 15 reps per set, 3 to 4 or 5 sets. Somewhere around there. That's all generalized because everybody has different circumstances, different reactions to the training, but that's what I recommend to most people. So, my end thoughts. Calisthenics has its place in your training routine, and weightlifting has its place in your training routine. I think the best is a mix of both worlds, which is what I do. Although I specialize more in calisthenics, I also train weightlifting to get better at weightlifting because I think both are very, very useful in building a well-rounded physique. Some movements I want to be very specific in, I do weight training. Some movements I just want to have a balance, good flexibility. I do calisthenics because I also just like the thrill I get through being able to do these new movements. It's just exciting when although you get the same type of thrill through getting a PR on bench and all that other stuff, I just feel it's more dangerous, so I don't like to do it. But there's benefits for both, and I recommend both to everybody. That's it for today, guys. And if you guys want to see something specific in the future, please let me know. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.